Welcome to Nuke's Fitness Podcast. My name is Manouk Vink, and after having struggled with my body image and my fitness journey for more than 10 years, leading me to all sorts of extremes, I have now finally cracked the code on how you can achieve a fit and toned physique without extremes and restrictions. Now, being a certified nutritionist and personal trainer, I have made it my mission to help women achieve their body goals by feeling empowered through fitness instead of being afraid of foods and being controlled by the fitness industry. In this podcast, I will be sharing with you tried and true methods on how you can finally achieve your dream body and tell you the secrets most coaches won't. So if you are tired of working your ass off without getting results, or you feel like you're putting in all the work but not seeing change in the mirror, this podcast is for you. I will be dropping some fitness truth bombs so you can start taking control of your body goals while still enjoying life. Thank you so much for listening and enjoy the show. Hi everybody. So I am going to be doing a live on Instagram whilst also recording this podcast for you all so that we kill two birds in one stone. I get to give you a workshop and I get to record a valuable podcast for you all. So for those of you who are watching live on Instagram, hi, hello. And for those of you who are listening to the podcast right now, welcome to Nuke's Fitness Podcast. In today's podcast, we are going to be talking about, or in today's live, we are going to be talking about the energetics of the body and how this could stop you from achieving the results that you want. And we're going to be talking about energetic emotional blocks that are stopping you from getting the results that you want. And both of these kind of go hand in hand. So energetic blocks come in the form of, come in many forms. So they pop up in the body, they pop up in your mind, they pop up in so many ways. And they're always trying to communicate something with you. So when it comes to you achieving the results that you want, it is very difficult for you to do so if you do not address the core issue of why you are struggling to get the results in the first place. And the reason for this is a lot of the time an energetic block that is being unaddressed. So let me walk you through it. We all have a body goal. A lot of us have a body goal in mind. I think most of us have a body goal in mind unless you're not preoccupied with that. But if you are listening to this, you're probably wanting to transform your body. And when we have this goal in mind, we find a plan, we find a diet or nutrition plan, we find a workout plan, and we start taking action. And especially in January, we start fresh. We're like, okay, let's do this. We're getting it done. And you have this motivation. And in the beginning, you're super motivated and you're going to go do it. But somewhere along the way, we lose that motivation and we lose that drive. And I always want to tell everybody that I work with, all my clients, all my members, and people that join my challenges, it is not that you are incapable of achieving the results that you want. That is not the case, because like I always say, if I can program you like a robot, you will be able to do the things that I tell you to do if you were just programmed to do so. So it's not that you're incapable of achieving the results that you want. It is something is getting in the way. And that is an energetic block or an emotional block or a limiting belief, which falls into the same category. So this is where we are either afraid of failure or even more so afraid of success. So basically what happens, we set out to tackle a goal and we want to start tackling it. And so in the beginning, we're super motivated, we're getting started, and we do all the things that we need to do to achieve that goal. Somewhere we get overwhelmed and we get disappointed with the results that you're getting, or you're not disappointed with the results that you're getting and you're actually happy with the results that you're getting, but we start to self-sabotage. So that is because we are fearful of this image that we create for ourselves. Basically, we have this idea of what we need to be like when we succeed. So when you look at your body goals and wanting to achieve your body goals, you have an image of the person that you need to be to achieve those body goals. And the closer we get to that person, funnily enough, sometimes we take a step back from being that person because we realize we can't uphold that image of ourselves, or we can't uphold that version of ourselves. We're afraid that we can't because we have an idea of what that version of ourselves needs to be. And that is not the truth. You are literally the creator of your own life. So you can decide what version you need to be the version that you want to be, if that makes sense. But we have this idea of what it would be like when you're, for example, a fit girl, right? So in your head, a fit girl needs to be someone that trains 5 times a week, gets up at 5 a.m., eats protein meals only, gets 7 to 8 hours of sleep in, and makes the most healthy decisions and never really enjoys like chocolate or cake or anything like that. And because you have that image of a fit girl or a fit person in your mind, the closer you get to that person, you're like, oh, no, I don't want to be that person because that means I need to be X, Y, Z. So we start to self-sabotage at this point. At this point, we start going, okay, I'm too close to being successful. I should self-sabotage and stop myself from being successful so that I don't have to uphold this image of myself. I don't have to be this version of myself. And that is where you go wrong. And if it's difficult for you to understand this analogy in the fitness realm or in the fitness world, I want you to think of it in the business world. When we are trying to build a business, for example, and we want to be successful, there's a little voice in our head that stops us from being successful. And the reason that happens is because we fear of what it means to be successful. If I become a CEO, I will have to manage this. I will have to do that. I will need a team. I will have so much money that I won't know where to put it and I'll probably mismanage it. I don't know how to run all these systems. So do you see how you start creating this narrative in the back of your mind of how that's going to go? And when you create that narrative in the back of your mind, you stop yourself from actually achieving the results that you want because you start stressing about what can be, without actually thinking, hey, if I become the CEO of my own life or my own business, I can create systems that I enjoy and that work for me. And the same goes with your fitness journey. Instead of worrying about what it means to be a fit girl, make your own version of a fit girl. Because if I'm quote unquote a fit girl, a fitness girl, I have a healthy body, I am fit, I work out multiple times a week, I focus on my nutrition, that doesn't mean that I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. Quite the contrary, actually. I wake up at like 8 a.m. in the morning. I'm trying to move that up to like more like 7 a.m. because I want to get a little more productive in my mind. That's productive. Again, that's totally up to you. If for you it works better to wake up at like 9, 10 a.m. and you feel like you're more productive when you do that, that is your version of fit. That is your version of a fit girl. So you can create your own version of what it means to be a fit girl. So instead of stopping yourself from achieving that result, why not create your own version of it while still being able to achieve those results? Another thing that I don't know, with some people say it helps me to put pressure on something. So if I have a specific goal, so for example, there's a wedding coming up in 3 weeks and I want to get into that dress for the wedding, that is going to put pressure on the goal. So I'll force myself to achieve the results that I want. The same thing goes for like setting a target, right, in your business. I want to make this amount of money, so I put this pressure on myself and then I have to get it done. Or like think of it like that, like an end goal. For me, that doesn't always work. This pressure doesn't always work. It sometimes drives to overwhelm because you feel like you need to do so much before you get there that you want to tackle it all and you try to tackle it all at once. And when you do that, you realize that you can't sustain it. You can't manage it because it's not part of your life. It doesn't work with how you live. So you try to tackle everything at once. So for example, you're trying to get into that dress in 3 weeks for the wedding. So you're going to tackle your nutrition, you're going to tackle your training, you're going to try and sleep better. You're going to do it all at once. And you probably have a belief in the back of your mind that you need to be training 5 times a week to get the results that you want. And you need to be eating in an extreme calorie deficit to get the results that you want. So what happens is it becomes so overwhelming that you want to tackle it all and you are unable to maintain it because it is so much in one go. Like, you can't transform your body in 3 weeks. So why try and tackle everything and transform your whole entire life in 3 weeks? It doesn't work. So I always advise my clients and my members to do something different. With any goal in life, try to look at it more like in an experimental, like playful type of way. So instead of saying, I have to train 5 times a week to get the results that I want, I have to fit into that dress in 3 weeks, try to do something more like, hey, I wonder what would happen if I decided to stick to training 3 times a week for the next 3 weeks. Do you see how it becomes more playful and more flow and more like fun to do? Because we have to keep it fun, keep it light. To me, that pressure, for some it may work, but for me, that pressure actually drives me to overwhelm and I eventually am not able to stick to what I wanted to do in the first place. So making it more fun and playful actually gives me more like drive because I'm excited to experiment with my new workout plan, with my new meal plan, with my new, you name it. I'm more excited because it's fun, because there's no consequences if I don't actually do it exactly right. And there's more like fun and excitement on the other end of that experiment. So those are some tricks that I would advise you do when you go into your fitness journey. And one of the biggest things that I notice when it comes to people that I work with and just people in general wanting to achieve a goal, especially in women, I'm sure it's also very common in men, but for some reason, the reason you are struggling to achieve the results that you want to achieve is because you are not putting enough value on yourself. And let me repeat that and explain it. The issue is we are so quick to set aside time for people that we love, for people that we don't even love and people that we work for people that we've just met, for our kids, for our partner, for appointments that don't really matter. Like, we are so quick and easy to set aside time for that. But when it comes to investing time in yourself and doing something for yourself, for some reason, it becomes incredibly difficult to commit to a time that you can invest time in yourself. For some reason, we don't put ourselves that high on the value system. We somewhere deep down don't believe that we are worthy of the time to set aside for ourselves. Because if you can so easily set aside time for your boss, for someone random, for anyone but you, honestly, then where are you on the list of value to yourself? You're probably on the lowest part of your list, because what I hear a lot of the time, I don't have time to work out this much. That means you don't have time for yourself, right? So try to change that. Like, why don't you have time for yourself? You should make time for yourself because you are the most valuable asset to yourself. And if you worry more about other people in your life and you feel like that's a selfish thing to do, I want you to change your perspective, because when you are not the best version of yourself, how do you think you're going to be showing up for others? Like half of the version of you? When you invest in yourself, when you put energy in yourself, not only will people respect you more and treat you like you are deserving of more time and love and energy, because that's how you treat yourself, and your energetic field will be sending that message out to anyone around you. I mean, I've asked this to one of my clients before. Think of someone in your life that puts themselves first. Do you feel that they are selfish, or do you respect them in a weird way because they put themselves at a higher regard, at a higher level, and therefore you respect their time and you respect their space? So, and that's what happens. So when you start putting yourself first and putting more energy into yourself, and you say and send out in your energetic field, hey, listen, I'm important and my time is valuable and this hour is for me and nobody is going to disturb me during this hour because this hour is an appointment that I made with myself. People are going to read that in your energy and think, hey, this person really puts herself, has a high worth, and I should respect her, and I should respect her time and her energy because she respects herself and respects her time and her energy. That's how that works. The way you treat yourself, other people will treat you as well, because you are emitting that energy. Like, think about someone who values their time, even like snobby people, right? Think about a snobby person that is like, oh, I'm too good for this. I'm this and that. You still respect them because they've sent that out in their electromagnetic field. Like, hey, listen, I am a worthy person. I am more valuable. So you better respect me. And I'm not saying you have to behave like a posh, like, selfish, like, asshole. I'm saying, like, kind of tap into that energy a little bit, that you are extremely valuable and people shouldn't take your time for granted. And therefore you put yourself first, so other people should put you first too. Because that's how it works. When they read your energy, they will. That's how that works. And you will, because of that, show up better for others. I mean, the best example of this is like, even for example, my mom is the best person on this planet, and she always wants to help others, and people always take it for granted. I don't, but people always take it for granted. And that is because she is so willing to set aside time for others that she forgets about herself. And I know you know someone like that, if it's not you. People do not respect that because they immediately read in your field, oh, she'll do it. Oh, she'll be ready, right? So it has so many benefits, putting yourself at a higher worth, at a higher regard. So I want you to, as homework, after listening to this, make a list of why you are the most valuable person on this planet. Like, literally, why are you the most valuable person on this planet? What makes you the most valuable? Because we seem to not realize our own worth. And I think we all have this complex where we all think we are not good enough. If it's not in one area of life, it's in another area of life. So if, for example, you're amazing and you feel like I'm the boss at my career, I'm the boss in my relationship, everything is thriving, but you feel like in your family, you are not the most valuable person, or in your relationship, it kind of sucks, you're not the best person, that is where you need to focus on. Try to prove to yourself how you are the best and focus on that, because when you start reprogramming that belief about yourself, you will send that energy out to everybody else. And guess what happens? Things start moving in your favor. And also, you will end up having more time for yourself to start working on your body, on your goals, and your body will work with you. Which brings me to your body. We often think our body is working against us, and that is just not the case. Our body is always working for us. So for some reason, somewhere along the line, we've forgotten to listen to our bodies. Somewhere along the line, we've forgotten to respect what our body is trying to tell us. We don't learn it in school. We don't learn it ever. We don't learn it from our parents. We are almost taught to ignore pain and uncomfortability and just sort of write it off until it starts like becoming a bigger issue. That's when we address it. But why don't we address it before it becomes a bigger issue? Like, does it really have to get to a stage where you need to go to a doctor or see a specialist before you start listening to your body? And what I mean by this is a lot of coaches don't even address this because they don't even know. So many people don't even know to listen to their body properly. When it comes to training and nutrition, there is a fine balance that you need to follow. Yes, you cannot sit on your ass and pray and hope that your body is going to transform into the best shape of your life. You can't sit on the sofa and pray to God that you're going to stand up and look like $1 million, right? That's not how that works. But we are so focused on taking action only, so without focusing on listening to the body, that we focus so much on what to do and having to do it that we forget to listen to our body. We forget to listen to what our body is trying to say to us. So we override it to the point that if our body is saying, error, this is not working for me, you're not listening to me, we override it and we keep going. And then we wonder why what we're doing isn't working, because you're not listening to your body. So a lot of fitness programs and approaches are so focused on the masculine approach. Just get it done, no excuses. I don't care if you're feeling sick. I don't care if you got 4 hours of sleep. I don't care if God knows what. You get it done. I don't care if it's raining, snowing, go to the gym, get it done. There are no excuses. That is what most of programs and trainers are still preaching. Not all, but most of them are. And you just got to do it. You just got to do it right. And they're like even when you don't feel like it. Yes and no, even if you don't feel like it. There is a fine line between listening to the body and finding an excuse. And we all know when we're looking for an excuse not to listen to our body, and we all know when our body is actually physically unable to execute the exercises. So try to actually listen to what your body is saying. If your body is totally fine and you should be able to go to the gym, then go to the gym. You know when you're making an excuse. Like, let's not pretend when you're laying on the sofa and you think, oh, but Manouk told me that I should take a break and listen to my body, so I'm not going to go to the gym today. We all know when those times are times where you're finding an excuse not to go to the gym, and we all know when your body's actually in pain and you shouldn't be training. So in that way, I want to address that masculine and feminine approach and the combination of the two. The masculine is for getting it done, is for doing it. The feminine is for listening to your body and being more in flow and being kind and loving to your body, which you should be doing 100%. But that doesn't mean that that's all you do. You should still take the action to transform the body, but not to the extent that you are hurting yourself and your health and your body, which I have done. So how do we do this? How do you approach this? Well, we've got a nifty little tool that is reading the body, reading the energetics of the body, and being able to be in tune with our body, or rather intuitively check in with our body and literally ask, hey, should I train today or should I not? And that is what I dive into inside my membership. We dive into the energetics of the body on top of being able to intuitively check in and see if my body is doing the right workouts, is needing something different, is needing to take a break, should be training 1 time a week, 2 times a week, 3 times a week. That is where you're actually like more specifically listening to your body rather than sort of feeling out, hey, this is what I should be doing. Hey, this is what I should not be doing, or kind of relying on your emotion to tell you, which we all know our emotions are not very accurate. They kind of blur what actually needs to be done, right? So what we do and what I want to give you today is we tap into the energetics of the body. your body manifests physical ailments or symptoms to communicate with you that something is off. So, for example, I've mentioned this before, where your body is holding on to body fat. That is a physical manifestation of your body trying to protect itself from your abuse. So, if you are doing everything right and you are training multiple times a week, 3 to 4 times a week, and you are tracking your nutrition and you're doing everything right, but you just can't get rid of that stubborn bit of fat, that means your body is trying to tell you, hey, listen, there is an energetic block that needs to be addressed. Something is off and you need to address it. And we will not stop letting you know until you address it. All your body wants is for you to listen. So it's the same way when you're about to present and you know exactly what you want to say and you choke up. That is literally your body manifesting the nerves in your body and feeling the feeling of the inability to express what you want to express, literally physically manifests in your body. So the same thing goes when it comes to fat in the body, swelling in the body, feeling bloated. That is all of that is a physical manifestation of an energetic / emotional block in your system. So if you're holding on to fat in your belly, for example, that is a physical manifestation of you beating yourself up about something that has happened to you in the past. So try to work through that. Your body's trying to tell you, hey, listen, you haven't quite tackled this issue that you're beating yourself up about, and we're going to keep signaling to you that there is something off until you listen. Like, think of it like a car. When you're in the car and your car starts flashing lights at you, that means it wants you to listen. It wants you to look in and check, hey, something is off. That is exactly how the body works. And first the light is orange and then the light goes red until your car breaks down, which is what happens with your body once again. So when it comes to swelling, for example, your body parts swell up because there is a lack of flow in your life. So your body is physically going to manifest that lack of flow until you figure out why there's a lack of flow and why you feel like there's a lack of flow in your life. I've literally had this in my fitness journey. I was doing it all right. I was training multiple times a week. I was focusing on my nutrition. I was literally doing it all, and my body was not budging. My body was not budging, and you know why my body wasn't budging? Because I was beating myself up continuously. I was unhappy with how I looked. I was unhappy with the results. I was like, you're not good enough. This isn't good enough. So my body was protecting itself from my abuse. My face started swelling because there was a lack of flow in my life, in my body, in the way that I treated myself. And that's literally what starts happening. And so many trainers, all we do is take action in the form of like doing workouts and tackling our nutrition and combining the two without actually addressing what your body physically needs on an individual basis, because we all have different systems. We all have similar systems, but we all have different systems. We all have different blocks. We all have different struggles. And because of that, you can't give someone a workout program and a diet program and it will work like magic immediately. And even if it does work like magic immediately, chances are you are not going to maintain the results that you got in the first place because you haven't addressed the core issue. I achieved a fantastic transformation. I got totally ripped. I lowered my body fat percentage. I literally did a bikini fitness competition and won a prize. But what happened after? I wasn't able to hold on to it. You know why? First of all, my body's natural state is not like that. Second of all, I didn't address the internal issues. I thought my value was linked to the way that my body looked. So I would beat myself up if my body did not look that way. So what did my body do? My body started protecting itself from my abuse to say, hey, listen, this is not it. You are not understanding the assignment here. You need to start finding value within yourself that has nothing to do with your body. So why do you feel you're unvaluable unless you have this body? Try to think about that. Why are you valuable even if you weren't ripped? What makes you the best person on this planet? Okay? Because we all are. Nobody can be a better Manouk than I can. Even if your name is Manouk, but this type of Manouk, this specific Manouk. Nobody can be a better you than you can. And that's because you are made exactly how you are meant to be made to live your life, to walk your path. So once you start seeing that, and once you start seeing you are literally perfect for why you are here, that's when your body starts cooperating. Because who wants to listen through punishment and torture and being beat up? Not me. I'd rather not. Can I do it a different way? Because I'd pick the other way. Nobody's motivated. Yes, motivated in a damaging way, but aren't you much more motivated when you feel empowered and excited and like, hey, I am the bee's knees? That motivates me more than when people are putting me down and beating me up. So why do that to your body? Like if you were speaking the way you speak to your body, if you're speaking that way to someone you love, like your child or your friend or your partner, like would you ever speak the way you speak to yourself in the mirror or speak to your body or treat your body the way you would treat one of them? If the answer is no, then you're not understanding the assignment. You need to listen and be loving to your body. And once you do that, you will be surprised at how quickly your body starts listening to the task that you give it. Because if you want to lose fat and if you want to tone up, you got to appreciate your body for what it is instead of beating it down. And it makes so much logical sense when you say it like this. Like, nobody wants to listen to abuse, right? So why would your body listen to abuse? Wouldn't your body be way more willing to listen to what you want from it and what you desire from it if you treated it with love and respect? So another piece of homework that I want to give you after listening to this podcast, the body part that you dislike most about yourself, try to find multiple reasons for why you love that body part, why that body part is perfect. For example, if you don't like your stomach, why is your stomach perfect? How can you love it for what it already does? It digests food. It allows you to nourish yourself. It keeps you running. It keeps you like fueled throughout life. If you've had a baby before, I mean, it's not exactly the stomach, but the womb, it carries babies. Like, oh my God, that's amazing. If you don't like your legs, think of some reasons why you love your legs. If they're still fully functional, they walk you around, they carry you, they get you from A to B. Without your legs, what are you going to do, right? I mean, you could still function, but be grateful that they're there for you instead of beating them up for not being perfect. And once you start treating those body parts and your body in general with love and respect, and you start seeing the value in your body and what it does for you beyond what it looks like, that's when it starts transforming. It's wonderful how that works. Because if we don't actually love our bodies, why the hell would it want to work with us? And even then, it's actually working with us. That's the crazy thing. Our body is just trying to help. Our body is just a physical manifestation of the things that we are not addressing or not listening to in our life. And our body is literally the signals in a car when something is wrong. So when you're feeling stiff in an area of your body, that means you're being inflexible in your life, and you should address that. And your body is being so loving and kind by letting you know, hey, You're being inflexible here. Address it. Once you listen, I will be flexible again. Same thing when you have like a stomach ache. You know when you're physically sick, that's a good example. Like I used to get school sick, right? So you get sick when you don't want to go to school. And that's a literal physical manifestation of not feeling happy with where you are. So feeling sick is like not agreeing, or feeling nauseous is not agreeing with what's happening, right? Or not wanting to accept what's happening. That is literally, when you get school sick, that is literally a physical manifestation of how you're feeling. That is literally your body saying, hey, you're unhappy in this situation. Try to figure out a way to address it so that you listen. The same thing happens with everything else, but somewhere along the way, we have lost the ability and the capability of listening to our body and respecting it and acknowledging it. We override it constantly. Constantly, we override our bodies. And guess what happens when you keep overriding your body? Your body is not going to stop trying to give you alarm signals until you listen or until you crash and you have no choice but to listen to it. And that's what happens. So, thank your body today. Thank your body for being on your side. Thank your body for letting you know that something is off and you should address it, because that is all your body is trying to do for you. It's trying to let you know that something is off and that you need to address it. That is all it's trying to do. And that is today's live podcast. And I hope before the next week or tomorrow or in the next few days, I want you to do this for me. I want you to do, was it 3 things that I said? I want you to feel out in your body, sit with yourself, and start thinking of what you're feeling in your body. I want you to think about, what am I feeling in my body? What do I think this is trying to tell me? I also want you to create a note in your phone that says your name. You are the most valuable person. And then I want you to write an entire list of things that make you the most valuable person on this planet. And then lastly, I want you to think of the body part that you like least. And I want you to write down why that body part is absolutely perfect. Find actual reasons of why it's absolutely perfect. And once you start doing these things and you start shifting your perspective, your body will start cooperating with you. You will start shifting those energetic blocks that are in place right now that are keeping you from achieving the results that you want. Because if we don't work in collaboration with our body, and if we don't work with the feminine and the masculine, and we listen to our body, then it's going to not fail us, but it's going to stop us from moving forward until we address the core issue. Moving forward in the way that you desire to move forward. Okay, beautiful people, thank you so much for being here today in my live. And thank you so much for listening to this podcast if you're listening later on. It was such a blast. I think this is such a powerful topic to talk about. And I think it needs to be addressed more, especially in the fitness industry, because all we do at the moment is work harder, train harder. We totally forget to tune in to our bodies and actually listen. And if you want to find out how to do more of that, there are 2 options I have for you. I have my free Dream Body Challenge, where we dive into the 5 fundamentals, one of which we've covered in today's little workshop, and to get the body of your dreams. So we tackle nutrition, how to stay consistent, how to decode the body. And we also tackle like what next steps to take and how to maintain those results. Or you can join me inside the membership, NUSA, Nuke's Ultimate Shape Academy, where you literally get one-on-one coaching with me every single week. And we have an entire like mini course on how to achieve the results that you want. That includes how to set up your training program, how to adjust your nutrition to get the results that you want, rest, recovery, previous coaching calls and Decoding the Body, an entire exercise index that allows you to go through and find each and every exercise that you're looking for and how to execute those exercises. And of course, my amazing recipes that will allow you to enjoy the foods that you love while still hitting your goals, and so much more. And if you want more information on that, I will be linking it inside the show notes of this podcast, both the challenge and the enrollment for Nuke's Ultimate Shape Academy. And if you're watching this on Instagram, then I also provide that information in my bio. Anyways, beautiful people, thank you so much for joining me here today. And I'm so proud of you for showing up for yourself. And I'm excited to see how this podcast make a difference in your life. Thank you so much for being part of this community, and I hope to see you soon. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast and you feel like you got a lot of value out of it, it would mean the world to me if you would rate and review the podcast and share it with someone who you feel like would get a lot of value out of it. In the meantime, come hang out with me on my Instagram at Manouk Vink, or join my free challenge, which will be linked in the show notes. It's academy.nukesfitness.com/join-challenge. If you can't remember that name, check the links in the show notes, and I hope to see you there.